Hello everyone, this is Mike Levin of Mike Levin SEO, and I just launched MikeLevinSEO.com, and it's time to record how long it takes to reach Google search results. This is also an important benchmarking test to see what sites are already there when I perform this search. Now granted, people aren't going to be searching on Mike Levin SEO spontaneously, but if you can't at least come up with what your site is named, your brand, then what hope do you have in anything else? So I went into Chrome incognito mode, which you can see up there, and I searched on Mike Levin SEO, and admittedly, while all these sites are mine, or sites that were once mine, or controlled by me, it's important to take a snapshot. And this snapshot is going to go into the very Git repository where the website itself is stored, so it's going to be a forever forward archive, which takes care of all these issues like where do you store this stuff. So the old school way of doing this is a screen snapshot. Sure, there's tools to do this, but I'm on a Mac, so in the browser I can do, I believe it's Command-Shift minus. Yes, Command-Shift minus. I zoom it down to far enough to show that I'm showing the entire page. It's still barely readable, but I can certainly see that this is LinkedIn, and this is my MikeLevin.in site, and this is the Hittail blog, and so on. There's even a YouTube video about me launching this, but it's not the site we're discussing. So now in a Macintosh we do, let's see, I believe it's Shift Option 4, Command Option 4, and we've got our little screen snapshot crosshairs, and I'll only pick up the part that I'm concerned with so that it'll actually make a nice graphic in a blog post potentially. I'll even keep the advertising because it's interesting to know who was advertising on either my name or the term SEO at the time I launched the site. I let go, and I'll get a message in this moment about it being available in Dropbox because I have it configured so that all screenshots I do are automatically in Dropbox. I could have copied the link to that screenshot from that requester that just popped up, but for SEO's sake, it's always good to rename these files into something more sensible. So here it is, and I am going to rename that to screenshot search results. That seems to be something that someone might search on, a nice three-word combination that'll probably be the same 3 words I would use in a headline of any blog post about this. And there might be a question of file extension. You can do Option I or flower key I on the Mac and turn off hide extension, and you can see that it actually is a PNG file. Now we actually need to get a shareable, an internet shareable link, share Dropbox link. Now that's in my copy buffer. That's important because we're going to need to use it in order to get that file onto the Raspberry Pi server. And so we go over here now to our terminal where we're still logged into the Raspberry Pi. I can do an ls to see the files that are there. The files that we're familiar with from yesterday, plus one called nohup.out, which I'll talk about later. It's how I'm keeping PyGreen running without locking up a command line or having to leave a command line window open, because once you log out of it, any Python scripts you ran the normal way will be terminated. But that's a story for another video. Today what we care about is making a directory for screenshots. And then I'll CD into it, and now I'll wget the file which is in my copy buffer. And if all is well, we'll keep the same file name. Wget is sometimes a little funny there. Now we do an ls. Yay, screen search results.png. So now what I want to do, open a new tab, Mike Levin SEO.com, and paste the name of that file, and it should appear. Not found, of course, because it's in a folder called screenshots. Much better. Now we're going to add that to the Git repository. So this is in more than one place and is as secure as any other file that comprises my website. cd.ls git add screenshots and everything in it. Git commit added search engine result screenshot. Git push. And there we go. Got my password wrong once, which is the reason for that other stuff. And so now if we go back to the web browser and go to GitHub and switch to that project, you can see 3 commits, whereas yesterday it was 2. And there it is, the directory and the file within the directory within that directory have been added now as part of GitHub and the permanent record. And this is great because I'm starting my website bare bones, and it's nice to keep an archive of the state of the website every step along the way, as from one page to growing. And in the past, you would use tools like a crawler and crawl your own website, and then you'd have to store the archive, and then it was sometimes difficult to remember, you'd lose the files. And by using Git to manage your website from the start, you've got that and many other problems solved, including deployment and migration. So this is the kind of education I want to give you from the start. You're going to have much more control over your website and a much better history of it. And the history of a website is actually quite important for SEO because Google has that long view of your site. It doesn't know your site as a snapshot as it is right now. It knows your site from the shape it was in from when it first discovered it. Thanks for listening, and I hope to talk to you soon, and please don't forget to subscribe.